Now, currently, a review of the Single Spine Pay Policy Forum is underway in the Volta region, and since the introduction of the single spine salary structure, numerous agitations have come up. Major groups such as the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAGRAT, the Ghana Medical Association have embarked on at least one strike to drum home their displeasure on either the retention premium, market premium, and other allowances. And joining me on the phone line is Senyo Ajaben, a labor expert. Thank you so much for joining us, Senyo. I understand Senyo Ajaben is on the line. Good afternoon, Senyo.
Good afternoon.
Now, Senyo, you are currently at the forum. It appears that there is a consensus that the single spine pay policy should be sustained. But the question is, can it be sustained? Senyo, you're on the line. We're having difficulty getting through to Senyo Ajaben, but we'll try and get him back again. But at the forum, President John Mahama said the implementation of the single spine pay policy was to remove distortions and management of the public sector pay system. And he regretted that this was a part not well thought out. But we understand we do have Senyo back on the line. Senyo, can you hear me now?
Sure.
Now, Senyo, I was asking, there appears to be a consensus at the forum that the single spine pay policy should be sustained. But I'm asking, can it be sustained?
Sure, it can be sustained. And as this forum's main objective is to ensure that there is some consensus, and all speakers so far have reiterated this focus on consensus, that is a unified way forward, as agreeable to all the stakeholders. We believe that optimistically, yes, it is sustainable.
But how can it be sustained, and what are the implications on the economy, especially in the wake with the increment of the government wage bill?
Great. As I speak to you now, the Finance Minister, Mr. Tepe, is giving a presentation on the implications of the wage bill on the economy. I believe that a number of things have been said here so far. And for example, the President assured that government would ensure that the pie is expanded, meaning that more revenue is generated, and so on. I think that the positives we can take out of this is the position of the posture of the President and the government as to acknowledging the challenges and wanting to do something about it. Indeed, organized labor has also said that they recognize the challenges and are willing to partner with government and the executive to do this. By so doing, a lot of things are being put in place to ensure that this happens. The Labour Minister, for example, called for a committee to be set up after this forum so that they ensure that whatever comes out per the communique would be implemented as such. So I think that a lot is being said, but when we go into syndicate work, then we will know how to deal with the trivialities and the details.
Now, another agitation that labor unions do embark on is about the market premium, and the President also did mention that at the forum. As a labor expert, how should market premiums be determined?
Well, the government has come out with a white paper on how to determine and implement the market premium. And indeed, in his address today, he has indicated that the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and the Management and Productivity Institute, together with the Statistical Services, would work together, would liaise to ensure that by October, a market survey is conducted to determine the jobs that are scarce or that are seen as scarce in the job market, so that these are then benchmarked with the amount of market premium that will be paid to these classes of jobs. So I believe all is set for that to be done. And indeed, this is in line with the guidelines that government put together for determination of market premium. And so now it is not going to be the arbitrary payment of interim or market premiums to certain classes of workers, but this will be determined by market survey, which will then indicate how much and how it should be paid.
Now, Sergio, another issue that also came up by the Trades Union Congress, the Secretary General of Trades Union Congress, was about the wage bill. Even though it's been increased, productivity in the public sector appears to be low. As a labor expert, how can we address this?
Great. The issue is about matching productivity with pay, and it means that we need to hold each public accountable for the work that they are employed to do. And indeed, I have mentioned that the necessary data to do this is already available, because key performance indicators per the evaluation of jobs done by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission as part of setting up the whole single spine pay policy has already been done. So all you need to do is to evaluate periodically workers' performance based on the key performance indicators as have been attached and identified for each job. Once this is done, yes, of course, it's big, because you'll be doing it for not less than 500,000 individual public sector workers.
All right, so
but once the mechanisms are put in place, then people can be rewarded for the jobs that they do, or they are assisted to do the jobs better, or then they are removed from employment because they are unable to meet the performance for which they were employed. So I believe the technicalities are workable, and the whole issue is about consensus on how it will be done and whether it will be done at all.
Now, I would ask you to hold on the line. We have currently joining us Edward Karowe. He is of the Agricultural Workers Union. Thank you for joining us, Edward.
Yeah, thank you too.
Now, I believe you have been following proceedings at the forum, and there is a consensus by Workers Union that the single spine pay policy should be sustained. But how can this be sustained?
Well, it's not an option to scrap the single spine pay policy. It's a policy that from the onset we knew that it has both opportunities and challenges. And then those opportunities and benefits, we can all see that workers' salaries have gone up. Now the challenges are there too, that the wage bill has also gone up. And then it also threw up some problems like strike actions and so on and so forth. So it can be sustainable when we take a critical look at what is there. Again, you see that the policy, unless we are able to increase productivity to match what we take as wages, then the challenges will continue to remain. So what we need to do now is to see how we can raise productivity and then allow productivity to drive wage bills, rather than wage bills being ahead of productivity. Whether productivity comes up or not, wage bills continue to go up. And these are the challenges which we can deal with. And once we are having a stakeholder meeting, we'll come out and resolve all these matters. And I believe that the single spine will become better than it is, and yet we'll be able to still meet it and make it sustainable.
Now, Edward, you are with the Agricultural Workers Union. One of the agitations has been with market premium, not only peculiar to the TUC but other associations. Now, how do you think this should be determined?
Market premium is indeed a policy by a sub-policy of the single spine, which rewards scarce skills, and then also to induce people to be where they would otherwise not have been, like in rural areas and so on and so forth. It is not an automatic for all workers, and indeed it is with the new guidelines, it is the prerogative of the employer. And in this case, if we talk about public sector workers, then it is the government. Now, if a particular work group think that their job requires a premium, market premium, then they need to convince the Standing Joint Negotiating Committee that their services require this market premium. So the market premium will know what is not supposed to be a wholesale for all workers and for all categories of workers. No, it is not so. So it is the way we manage it, and that indeed we need to convince the employer that you deserve it or you do not deserve it.
Now, Senor, if you're still on the line, I was speaking with Mr. Kari when he did say that productivity must drive the wage bill. Do you agree with him on this?
Yes, I agree with him. Indeed, under salary administration, market premium is what we call an inducement. It is a reward for or an incentive for a particular class of workers whose work is seen as scarce, and therefore their demand is high, and therefore they want to be encouraged to stay in their jobs. It is indeed a retention policy to retain those whose work are seen as scarce and in high demand. So indeed, it will not be a holistic approach. Specific jobs are going to be targeted, and it is a prerogative of the employer to identify these jobs and do same. Productivity must lead the way, and that is the way forward. Employers always pay for value, so it is a matter of paying value for services delivered. Now, if this value is being paid for, but the value is not being delivered, then it means that one party then loses. So it's important for us to now start looking at how productive the public sector worker is. Are they doing what we have employed them to do? Are they being, are their performance being managed? Those who are not performing and therefore are wasting the taxpayers' money, what are we doing with them? Are we training them to become better, or are we removing them from the jobs and giving other people the opportunity to come and perform what the taxpayer needs for the growth of the country? So productivity definitely must lead the way. As to how that would be implemented is what must be worked out and done as soon as possible.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time. We have been speaking with Senor Ajabin, and we've also been speaking with Mr. Edward Kariwe of the Agricultural Workers Union on the single spine pay policy.